Hey all, Little John in the brewery and just getting ready for today's brew. Got one or two fellas from the local brew club coming in today as well. A bit of a chat, a few beers, put a brew down. So I'm just getting ready. Got Robobrew sitting here with water in. What we're brewing today is going to be a bourbon barrel smoked honey porter. Big mouthful, but basically doing a fairly robust porter with about 16% smoked malt, which is a mesquite smoked. So let's see how that goes. I will ferment as per normal. I'm then going to age it in secondary on some used bourbon chunks, the dominoes that I use for aging my bourbon on. It's not actually going to go into a barrel, but it will sit on those chunks just for a few days, just to impart some of that bourbon and oaky sort of flavours. I don't want that being overpowering, but just enough to get a little bit of a hint. And then I will be bulk priming with honey instead of sugar. So using the sugars in the honey to get the carbonation, but then also looking to have just a little bit of residual honey flavour left in the bottle. I don't want it in the brew. I don't want to ferment. I don't want to go through and mash with it or using it during the fermentation. I don't want to be drying this beer out. I don't want it getting, fitting the body. I'm looking for a fairly heavy beer with a good solid body. So I don't want to stick the honey in and drag that down. So I've got water on. I'm knocking out a 15 litre batch. I'm then going to split this batch two ways. I'm going to run half with Mangrove Jack's Empire Ale, and I'm going to run the other half with Wee's 1099 Whitbread, which is an old yeast I picked up nice and cheap, and I've had it stepping up over the last 2 weeks, and I think it's ready for pitching. So that's going to be our yeast run. We'll run both at 19 degrees. So I'm getting the grain ready, about weighing it up and about to mill it. 4 kilos of pale base malt. I'm using 2 of lager and 2 of golden promise. I really don't think it's going to particularly matter which way you went with this beer, because there's going to be a lot of other stuff that's going to overpower your base malt anyway. So I just split the 2 because I've got a bag of each. You could go anything you want, it wouldn't really matter. And in all honesty, you're probably better off this sort of brew. You're better off using a cheap option if you got it available to you. Really going for, I'm running Simpsons. It's going to get lost, and you could quite easily run with Joe White or Barrett Burston, local stuff that's going to, be a lot cheaper, But you got to run with what you got. So that's 4 kilos of that. 1 kilo of the smoked malt, which I've got in. It's already milled. I got that from craft brewer in Brisbane after a bit of a muddle up, and if you watch the Fife on Friday from this week, you'll there's a bit of an explanation to that. But you get smoked malt from any supplier, and there's quite a few varieties available at the moment. I was tossing up between said mesquite, there was cherrywood, applewood, what have been another, and then your standard sort of Roach malts and the Manuka honey smoked malt coming out of New Zealand. I was really interested in that, but the supplier who had it was out of stock. So mesquite is where I've gone with this one. So on top of that, we've got 450 grams of chocolate. Now this is a sort of a medium dark chocolate. It's not a real dark. It's not light. It's not a pale chocolate. So I'm hoping that's going to give some nice coffee and a bit of richness. 300 grams of flaked oats, which is just going to be quick oats, you know, breakfast oats. And using the quick oats because you don't need to worry about, you know, temperature for the mash to get any conversion out of them. They're already gelatinized and they work nice and easy. And they'll add a nice slickness, creaminess to the brew. Cara Munich 2, just pushing that nice depth of some caramel notes. Carafa. Now I've got Carafa 1 on the list, but I've actually got Carafa 2. So we'll go with that. It's only 100 grams, so we'll stick with that. 50 gram of black, again just to push a little bit of roastiness, just to give a little bit of oomph on that sort of bite around the edge, and a little bit of Special B, just to round out for a little bit of that, yeah, a little bit of that dried fruit sort of a flavour in the background. And again, it's quite a complex mixing there, and nothing. I'm not looking really to have anything particularly standing out, but on everything sort of playing together. And what you often find with these sort of combinations is that each flavour will stand out at a different time when you're drinking. So if you drink this cold, you'll tend to get different flavours, and as it warms, you'll taste the different layers that are in the brew. So what you end up with is a glass where you're not experiencing the same thing at the top as you do at the bottom. Top to bottom. Yeah, so it adds some nice interest and complexity, and so to some degree for the brewer at home, so working out which way it's going to work best, like where's the best temperature you want it served at to get those flavours. But that's it. So that's like I said, brewed, split on the yeast, 19-degree ferment. That's it. So mash. So it's only 15 litre brew. I'm going to mash in with just a standard bit over 3 kilos, or a kilo, 3 litres a kilo. I don't even know what I've said now. But anyway, 40 minutes at around 66 degrees, then ramp up to 72, hold it there for 20 minutes from that point, and then sparge with, I think, what will be in the end around 9 litres, which I'll probably warm up to about 85 degrees, and sparge through with that. So it's a pretty simple mash. It's not long, it's not elaborate. I am running it through the Robobrew. I really would have I wanted to push this one through the old mash tun, but a few things happened yesterday that sort of threw me plans out, and I just didn't get around to making sure that was up and going because I haven't used it for a while. Hoses and things aren't particularly ready, so at the end of the day I was just pulled between okay, we'll go with the Robobrew. So, and of course, being the Robobrew, I'll be throwing in a whack of rice hulls as well, just to be sure. Particularly using the oats, just to make sure we're not getting a stuck mash. But I don't think it would be a problem. But that's us. So, I'm going to get on with it. We'll come back a bit later when we look at hops and look a bit more. And we'll see how the day's progressing. Hey folks, righto, we've skipped a little bit forward into the day, and we've pretty much missed everything. This is what happens when you've got people around and you carrying on, having a few beers, yatting. Yeah, video gets missed. All good. So, days ran pretty smoothly. Mash went through. We mashed 66 for 40 minutes, ramped it to 72, held it for 20, sparged. Sparged water was cooler than originally planned. I didn't heat it, just sat here, so I don't even know what temperature it was. Boiled with 60-minute boil. Hop additions was Warrior at 60 minutes, Topaz at 10 minutes. So the Warrior was for 29 IBUs at 60 minutes, 11 IBUs of Topaz at 10, and then 5 IBU in Centennial at 3 minutes. And that was it. Shut down and then ran through the double chiller in the esky, straight to the fermenter, dropped into the fermenter around 21-22 degrees. Pitched the yeast directly on. Mangrove Jack's Empire Ale on one batch, which was around 9 litres, and the other batch is about 8 litres. That got the Y yeast 1099, the whip bread. They're in the fridge, they're set to 19 degrees, and they'll chock along nicely. That's the remnants of the hydro sample for the final reading. It's bloody tasty. Final gravity was 1060. It's a litre and a half over expected volume, so I've missed I've not stuffed up a number there somewhere. Was aiming for 1066 original gravity, so I'm probably missed by about 4 points when I adjust for the volume. I'm not too concerned about that. I'm going to leave it where it is, so should still come out somewhere in the high fives, which I'm pretty reasonably happy with. The bitterness, total bitterness of about 44, 45 IBU initially, so it's probably going to pop up to about 46 or 47. So it's not excessive in any way. So it's not going to hurt. So as I said, we'll let this one run now. It will get bourbon aged. And what I'm thinking I may actually do is I might only bourbon age half of it till I've got a good comparison from one to the other. And like I said, we'll bulk prime with the honey. So looking, probably 4 to 5 weeks before we're looking at a taster on this one, see how it goes. So I apologise for the lack of thoroughness on the video as far as the actual brewing goes, but realistically, you want to go back and have a look at the last stout. Brew day was pretty much exactly the same. Doesn't really look a hell of a lot different. So we'll report for those that are interested. Young man sat here, was quite impressed with quality of Kingsley's Passion Fruit Cerveza. Comment was, geez, that's bloody good for a kit beer. And he was also a fan of the small batch stovetop IPA, which I'll stick a link up the top there as well. So again, if anyone who's looking at getting into all grain or hasn't done so, not sure if it's for them, check out that video. It's a easy way of getting indoor brewing, cheap and easy, without a lot of equipment, a lot of mucking around. Try it out for yourself before you, dive in, going headlong. But other than that, that's me for the day. So if you've got any questions or comments, if you want to clarify anything about the recipe or the process of the day, as I said, there's a lot of video to go with it. Go for your life. If you haven't subscribed to Little John's, hit the button down there, because believe it or not, we actually do normally do videos of the brew day. There you see what actually happened. It's all good. Today wasn't the day. It's okay. But that's me, Little John. So until I see you again, we're drinking beer, we're talking beer, or we're brewing beer. Good brewing. Well, I'm looking forward to this one.